Tristan, what really stood out to me, man, from watching your highlight video was just your length that you are. Being the underclassman that you are, the length you've already got and everything else, that was really intriguing me, especially being a receiver and DB. That's something that's really going to play dividends come just your length and everything, especially on the defensive side. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video are the following. The first thing is to add an information slide at the beginning. The best way to do this is to go on Canva. All right, this is free. You'll go to one of their slides and you'll put the information of your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, X account, email, and phone number. Okay, put that information on the left, put a picture of you on the right, download that, and then upload that to the very first thing on your video. Now, the reason we want that to be the very first thing is so boom, as soon as the coach pulls up your film, all the information he needs is right there. Okay, he knows how to now follow you on X, how he can send you a questionnaire for your email, how he can contact you via phone number if he ever needs to get a hold of you. Okay, and it just makes it that much easier because a college coach's time is so short and valuable. If they have to go try to track that information down, they might pass on you because they don't have the time to do that. Okay, if they're watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, just watching film all day long, and when they find somebody they like, they might spend a minute or two trying to find that information. And if they can't, they're going to go on to the next person. Okay, so and personally, I've had to pass on that with that before. Okay, so make sure we do that because that's really going to help you out. All right. Next, going to removing plays / non-highlights. And this is more anything that doesn't showcase your strength or transfer to the next level as much. Okay, we want to kind of take these plays out and just help more move the needle for you. Okay, excuse me. So say you get to a 10 on the coach's board. All right, take some of these plays out. Boom, now you bump up to an 8 or a 5 or higher. Okay, that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Okay, so that's what we're really aiming for. Right, and to kind of give you an example of what we're looking at, one of the plays I would take out here. Okay, first and foremost, these are not bad plays whatsoever. Okay, I want you to understand that. But kind of looking at it from my perspective and stuff like that. Okay, we'll back it up here just a second, right at the 57-second mark. All right, it is just having to chase down a little bit sometimes on your chase downs and stuff. Coaches love the effort, but the effort when you get to college, that's got to be there. Okay, because if you don't do that in college, then you're just not going to play. They're going to put the next best man in. Okay, so that's where we definitely want to make sure just take those out. Like I said, they're not bad plays whatsoever. All right, not bad plays. Love the hustle. I appreciate that more than anything from guys. But you've got other plays on here that are going to help elevate your highlight video. Okay, so take those ones out. There's a couple of your tackles when you make contact. You got just being younger and stuff like that. You get drove a little bit, so take those out. And then all of your 8th grade film, take that out as well. Okay, now. The reason we want to do that, okay, is because coaches want the most current video that you have. All right, they don't want years combined. Even to say if you had junior and sophomore film, they don't want the sophomore. They would just want the junior as an example. Okay, so only put your freshman year film on this. All right. Next, with your title, okay, don't put freshman and 8th grade highlights. Okay, just put you can put just your name and then the year, and then I just leave it at that. All right, or you can do highlights at the end. Don't have freshman 8th grade because sometimes if they see freshman highlights on there, they're going to skip it. Okay, because they're on a different year. All right, so make sure we have that fixed as well. Okay, next, make sure that we remove the background sound. Okay, and we want to do that because we don't have anything that's going to distract that recruiter from evaluating your film. All right, so like I said, he's watching that many kids in a day, and we don't want to have his evaluation defer on because maybe a background sound comes up because he's in his zone watching so many kids that he's got his rhythm that he's doing, just like when you're playing and locked in. It's kind of the same thing when they're evaluating film. Okay, so we don't want to have anything that's going to distract that. Also, on your spot shadows, like where you got the triangle pointing you out or the circle or something like that, make sure you do it before the snap. Okay, they want to see you all the way through the play. They don't want to see you right before you catch the ball, right before you make a tackle or something like that. Okay, do it before the ball is snapped, 1 or 2 seconds before, so they can see how you line, see how you get in a stance, see how you come out of your breaks and everything else. Okay, next, for you, we want to order our plays all defense first, all offense, and then since in your evaluation you'd put kicker as well. So if you've got some decent, if you've got some special teams with the kicking, you can put that at the end also. Okay. Now, with that being said, the reason we want to do that though is so a college coach, whatever side of the ball, can jump right where they need to see you, and that way they can really watch a true evaluation of just your offensive clips or just your defensive clips. Okay. Or then if the kicking coach wants to watch you, he can jump to the end and watch just your kicking clips. Okay. So that's really going to pay dividends there. Next, go into the sequence of plays for you. Okay. This is kind of how the film's going to flow. So we want to start since we're starting with defense, we want to go turnovers. Okay. So your interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and then PBUs. Okay. Tackles, we want ones that are physical and violent. Remaining defensive highlights, and that's more anything that is like not necessarily a statistical side, but still good play that showcases what you can do. So if you're in coverage and maybe he doesn't catch the ball or something like that, showing that side, or you come and make a 5-yard tackle or something like that, not necessarily down the field tackle, or come up and make a play. Okay. Next, then when we go to your offensive side, you want to go long TDs. Okay, and then short TDs, so anything 25 and in, and then explosives, anything 15 to 20 plus yards down the field. Any blocking plays you have. Remaining offensive highlights, which is not necessarily an explosion play, but a good play that still showcases what you can do, and then your special teams clips like we talked about. Okay, so but what I've done here is I put the best clip I believe that you should start out each section with, because we want to put our best clips first. All right, to capture that coach's attention early, to keep him watching. Okay, so that's really going to help us out. So that's what I've kind of done here. I believe you just start out each section with. So at the 158 mark, all right, this is the one that looked like it was a fumble recovery because you jumped on it at the end. So like I said, that's where we want to show it all the way. All right, excuse me. Excuse me. We want to show that all the way so they can see you out of your break coming up, making a play and stuff like that. Okay, but you can see you jump on the pile, so that's where I said, okay, that's a fumble recovery. All right, that way they can see that. Then we go to the 118 mark, and I know you've got multiple PBUs. This is the one I thought that was the best one here. Okay, so show this one, all right, and then boom, put your other two after that. Okay, that's just how that needs to go. Okay, put your other two after that, and then just put the next best one, the next best one, and then you just keep going and you go to the next one. Okay, and then for your tackles, 203. All right, this is a great job. Okay, of coming up, sticking this guy right here, boom, getting out of the break. Like I said, show that quicker, bam, 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 coming up, sticking them, not getting drugged. You're the one doing the driving and driving them back. Okay, that's what those coaches are looking for. Okay, you're explosive wise. All right. For the offensive side after you go through everything else, okay? And I left some of these on here. You may not have them right now, but I left them on there for future reference as well, okay? The big play right there, wanting to show that. That's what they want to see, kind of see some speed and stuff like that. And then kind of give you an example of the remaining offensive highlight here, all right? What we're looking for, okay? Just nice 10-yard out route, all right? Making a good catch, getting close to that 15-yard marker, but maybe not right on there, but still showcasing what you can do in that route, okay? So add that information slide, remove those plays, remove the background sounds, change up the order and the sequence, and overall this will provide a more dynamic highlight video for college coaches. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. Okay, I'm basing this off the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do, and where the athlete can receive a scholarship right now. Okay, and this is based on a few criteria. The first thing is your graduation year. All right, use this to your advantage, okay? Because they may not necessarily be able to get in contact with you right now, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't start reaching out to them. But use this to your advantage because we know what we need to improve upon, okay? We know how we need to go about our communication, what these coaches are going to look for, how we need to set things up, all right? But then for a DB, they're going to look at your size, your foot speed, your long speed, and your strength. And with that being said, okay, I also want you to understand that this is a current evaluation off the film we just went over, opposed to a projected evaluation. Okay, this is a current evaluation, all right? With that being said, the levels you should look at today for a scholarship are D3 and NAI, and that is mainly just because of your graduation year. Okay, and like I said, because that's a current evaluation. Now, like I said, you may not start getting interest from these college coaches yet, just due to your graduation year, and they may not be able to talk to you yet. But that doesn't mean you can't email and call them. Okay. Make sure you're marketing and branding yourself in the correct way. This is going to be big for you, the visibility on social media. Okay, being an underclassman, you need to make sure you're getting your name out there through social media. Make sure you're following these coaches on X. Make sure you're DMing these coaches. Okay, send them your updated film when you get stuff. All right, that's going to be critical for you. Okay, now you're going to have prospect camps coming up. We need to be signed up for. Okay, start targeting these levels we talked about, and then keep working our way up as you go, keep getting older and everything, seeing how things go for you. All right, but with these prospect camps, okay, you can introduce yourself to these coaches a lot easier. Okay, especially if you go some of the smaller group ones or one-on-ones compared to these mega camps. All right, there's 1,000 different kids there, and it's really hard to get an evaluation on everything and these coaches and develop a relationship with them when there's so many kids there. Okay, but that's really going to help you out in the long run as well, making sure we're choosing the right camp. All right, but here's the deal: how can we also attack these levels and get better? Okay, my suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football and possibly a higher division are the following. The first thing is strength training. Throughout your career, make sure you're adding good weight, not just trying to add weight, but adding good weight, adding muscle, okay? Explosion power lifts, squats, quick twitch stuff, single leg stuff, okay? That's going to break down even more, all right? You get in the man coverage, you've got to be physical and deliver the blow on defense, okay? That's kind of like what we talked about, the ones of the tackles kind of getting drug a little bit compared to the one where you stuck a little bit more, okay? That's going to come to your physicality and your strength, right? Next is your foot speed. Dot drills, ladder drills, cone drills, working on DB drills. Get out of your break as fast as possible, okay? That's just working on things that's going to keep developing. That's going to, like I said, they want to see that stuff. Long speed, okay? It's going to come through your summer conditioning work right now. It's going to help you with your speed training. Then they're going to see that with your laser time as well. Now, you get to the spring, you've got to make sure you're in track also, okay? That's going to help out. Because if a wide receiver's got a deep ball, you've got to be able to stay in phase with them, okay? Next, continuing DB technique development, okay? Block destruction, okay? Coach has got to know who can come off the block and come up and make a tackle. So you're out there on the outside getting blocked by a receiver. You've got to shed that block and come up and make it, especially if you're a corner, okay? You got to keep contained and not let anybody outside you, all right? That ties in your strength and physicality. Hand accuracy. In man coverage, working on a placement of the hands to jam the receiver at the line of scrimmage, okay? And then also development of coverage in man versus zone, okay? Because in college, you're not just going to run zone, or you're not just going to run man, okay? You're going to run both. Sometimes you might be doing one thing, and other guys might be doing another thing, okay? So you got to make sure that you've got a good variety of both and good development of both. Also develop a little bit of receiver craft, this can help you too on the offensive side. Jugs and tennis ball work, working on that hand-eye coordination to help bring in interceptions, deep and quick game routes through mastery. Okay, for the defensive side, though, it's not necessarily running them, but the recognition of it. Okay, knowing how a receiver might run a specific route based on man or zone. Okay, that's going to help with football IQ. Next is your flexibility, pre and post training stretching. Okay, it's going to help improve pad level and run and pass. Okay, that's part of your individual work, but it's also going to help prevent injury because your best ability is your availability. And if you're dinged up and nicked up over these next couple of years, that's going to hurt your chance of video, which will then hurt your chance of an offer. If you're in college and you're dinged up and nicked up, that hurts your chance on the depth chart. All right, so you got to make sure you're taking care of your body. But these improvements are what a DB college coach will look at. So double down, do all these things, hit it hard. And if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that D2 level. But Tristan, at the end of the day, everything's really going to come down to your individual work, your outreach, as well as your marketing on social media, which is huge being an underclassman, and your relationship building with college coaches, which is why the next step, which is critical for the conversations about start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand, be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview. Thank you.